This is how you can build an aesthetic physique with just 4 hours a week. If you're a busy guy and you're struggling to find the time to go to the gym, to build muscle, to eat right, I'm gonna break down everything, the perfect training split you need to follow, the method and the routine you need to have in order to build this Greek god aesthetic physique that gets people super impressed by you. Because I'm sure the typical advice you've heard is just train 6 days a week for 2 hours in the gym, and it takes up your whole entire life, and you can't actually enjoy the things you want to do. It doesn't need to be that way. It's more about quality over quantity. So this can work if you've got a full-time job, maybe you're even working extra, and you've got a family and you have even no motivation, whatever. It's not about the motivation, it's about putting in the work that needs to be done, right? But first, you need to understand what actually is an aesthetic physique and how to build it. So the main muscle groups are going to be your shoulders, upper chest, and lats and arms, of course. Now, you're going to need a training split that focuses on those muscle groups, that targets them as much as possible and gives them enough time to recover. This is the exact training split that one of my clients, Theo, followed. If you're interested in getting a tailored plan specifically built for you, click the first link in the bio. Now, the training split I would focus on following is going to be a push, pull, legs, shoulders, and arms split. Why? Because this focuses on all of the aesthetic muscle groups I just mentioned. Right, with a push day, you're going to be hitting a ton of upper chest, overall just chest development, shoulders, and triceps. It all goes very well together because all of the compound movements, for instance, like a bench press, you're using your chest, shoulders, triceps, and it feels great. If you need to, you can adjust it to a full body split 3 times a week if you only can go 3 times a week, but this is the best for 4 times a week. Now, because you only have 1 hour, your workouts need to be effective and high intensity. This means 2 to 3 sets for each exercise, 6 exercises total, maybe 7, but that's it. That should only take you about an hour. You don't need to be doing high amounts of volume. What you need to be doing is training to failure and focusing on progressive overload. If you're leaving reps in the tank, you are missing out on so much muscle growth. If you wanted to be a power lifter and just focus on strength, you could leave reps in the tank. But if you want to build as much muscle as possible, you need to be going very close to failure or absolutely to failure. So what I would do is I would just leave 1, maybe 2 reps in the tank that first set, but always on your last set, 100% make sure you're going to failure. And on certain exercises like a lat pull down, like a leg extension, you can even bust out partial reps. This is going to get even more of a stretch on your muscle, just completely exhausting it, taking it to the next level. Now, I forgot to mention abs. For abs, I would do this about 2 to 3 times a week. But let's be honest, the reason why you can't see your abs right now, it's not because your abs aren't strong enough, it's because your body fat is too high. So what you need to do is focus on lowering your body fat percentage to make sure your abs are visible. Let's say you're at 20, maybe 25% body fat. That means you would want to cut down to about 15, 10%. Usually that's when your abs really start to pop. So the main thing you're going to need to prioritize is your diet, right? They say abs are built in the kitchen. They are. That is true. They're built in the gym too, but I will say they're mainly built in the kitchen just so you can reveal them. So to make sure you're getting leaner every single week, month by month, this is what you need to do with your diet. First, figure out your maintenance calories, and you want to subtract about 2 to 500, a slight calorie deficit. This is how you can build the muscles while dropping body fat and getting leaner at the same time. You're not in a crazy deficit to the point where you're starving yourself, where you're getting bad sleep, where training sucks. You can still have amazing workouts and be in a slight calorie deficit. In fact, I would recommend having as many carbs, as many calories as possible while you drop body fat. Why? Because you're gonna have more things to pull from. You got to think of it like you've only got so many lives, right? Subtracting 200 calories, that's one life. Adding more cardio, that's another life. Increasing steps, and you want to make these micro adjustments only when your weight hits a plateau. So I typically recommend 1 to 2 pounds per week to drop. This keeps you lean without sacrificing your muscle. But not only do the calories matter, the macros and the quality of food matters. So I would have at least 1 to 1.2 grams of protein. I would make sure you're having at least zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 grams of fat. This is going to keep your testosterone. And you want to have good quality fat, omega-3 sources, things like salmon, eggs, ground beef. This is going to make you feel good while looking good. Because it's super easy to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, feel terrible, have no fats, starve yourself, and get in some good shape, but you can't maintain it and you gain the weight back. This whole process makes it sustainable. I even recommend people to eat fast food. As long as you're hitting your macros, as long as you're staying on track, tracking in MyFitnessPal, you could eat fast food, junk food multiple times a week and still be locked in. Just remember, you won't feel as good because you're not having as many micronutrients from fast food. So the diet and the training are crucial, but you cannot forget about this other thing, and that is your recovery, right? Sleeping. Most guys miss this step. They sleep 4 to 5 hours and they think they can get by, but I'm telling you, if you want to get in next level shape, you have to go for at least 7.5 hours. So ideally, you want to be in bed for a total of 8. So you fall asleep and you get the full amount. And that means also preparing ahead of time, just having a perfect nighttime routine. A lot of guys just, I don't know, watch Netflix, smoke weed, or do some bullshit, and then they wonder why they have a hard time going to sleep. And this was me. I was binge eating. I was stuck in this endless cycle for multiple months. It wasn't until I focused on having a high protein, fulfilling meal before going to bed and then reading and then not watching TV. The bad habits started happening the later I stayed up and the more I gave into quick dopamine. That's when it was so hard for me to lock in and do what I needed to do. So not only do you have to have all of these things together, you have to have the right mindset and you have to have the right routine. So start going to bed earlier the same time every single day and then wake up, do what you need to do. I would say some people like to have a morning workout, and that probably is more effective as long as you can have a meal before. Training fasted, whew, that sucks. Some people like it, but it's not as optimal. You're gonna have a better workout if you eat beforehand and after. Best case scenario is probably going for a walk, getting some having a nice fulfilling breakfast, and then training hard and then going to work. If that doesn't work for you, do your full work shift, and after the work shift, then do a 1 hour training session. Now remember though, you can train hard for 1 hour, but if you sit on your ass all day, sitting working at the desk, you're not going to be active enough to really look like a Greek god. Greek gods are active. So the best thing to do is walk at least 10K steps per day. You can walk in the morning, like I said, take walking breaks on a call during lunch, whatever, just even doing a little bit steps, pacing back and forth inside the house, walking to the gym, walking after the gym, even adding in some cardio on the incline treadmill, that can be key. That's going to be very good for your cardiovascular health and it's going to build your aerobic base. So not only will you look physically fit, but you'll actually be physically fit. On top of that, you want to manage your stress. Try and get in the sauna if you have access to it. If you're a busy man working a full-time job, you can't just control your stress, right? But you can do your best to prepare yourself beforehand and get good quality sleep. Another thing to add on is going to be supplements. Now, you don't need anything too crazy. I don't even take protein powder. I just have protein from real food like ground beef. But if you want to and that's easier, it helps you save time, have protein powder. Whey protein is great. Definitely take creatine. This is going to help you get stronger in the gym. And definitely take magnesium glycinate. This is going to help you calm down, improve your sleep, improve your recovery, your muscle recovery. And you want to be taking vitamin D for your testosterone, especially if you don't get a lot of sunlight, about 2,000 to 5,000 IUs. Fish oil if you need to, if you don't have much fish oil in your diet. But those are the basics, and that's really all you need. You really can achieve your dream physique with just 4 hours a week. It just takes a proper schedule, routine, planning ahead, and remember why it's worth it. Because you yourself right now, the reason why you're in the position you're in is because you don't have the habits of the dream physique you want yet. So you need to switch your mind into thinking you are the guy that's a Greek god. You need to start doing the habits that a Greek god has. You need to remember why it's important. Clothes fit better. You're leaner. You're stronger. You can take off your shirt at the beach and feel so confident. You can attract your dream wife. You can be a better father for your future kids or your kids currently. You want to be a role model. You want to be a man that people look up to. If you're fat and out of shape, people won't respect you as much. Jacked guys, they immediately get tons of respect just by the first impression. So it makes a big difference. It makes you more productive. It makes you have more energy throughout your day if you're stronger and physically fit. So don't just do it for you. Do it for the people around you. Do it for the people you want to help. And that's what's going to motivate you when things get tough, right? I'm not motivated all the time. Nobody's motivated all the time, especially to do cardio or to train legs. Nobody fucking likes. Sometimes legs is cool, but most of the time legs is fucking ass, right? And it's going to be using that discipline, that willpower to get you through those hard times. And you can't just rely on motivation and your feelings. You have to rely on the plan and the routine that you have built. If you want a custom plan and routine built for you to fast track your progress, First link in the description, apply for one-on-one coaching, and we can hop on a quick call to discuss what might work best for you. Now, if you have any other questions, make sure to DM me on Instagram. I give out guides like nutrition guides. I respond to all my messages, so make sure to DM me there. Appreciate the support. Like, subscribe. Peace, boys.